I think in light of what's going on in the economy, both here in Gwinnett County as well as elsewhere in the state, I think anything that we can do to try to stimulate some growth and some benefit, I think is something that we ought to at least take a look at. Obviously, these discussions are in their early stage, but I think it's something that the public ought to be open to and evaluate all the options. I personally feel it to probably be a favorable option to look at, but I think for people to just come to an early conclusion and immediately dismiss it as not being a good thing is probably the wrong stance to take. I live here, have lived last 5 or 6 years up in Beaufort, up near the Mall of Georgia. I've got young children, and to go through on a flight is a big ordeal, and typically we don't do a whole lot of air travel in the course of a year, but to have the possibility, we have relatives come to us all the time, the idea of them flying in here locally, being right around the corner, being able to pick them up, drop them off, they're in for a weekend. It's that much less time that you're going to be having to drive to the other end of town, south side of Atlanta, to go pick somebody up. That's certainly appealing. The convenience factor, I think, is tremendous. Anytime you're going to get into the car and drive somewhere, there's a big question mark as to how long is it going to take you to get there. And I think anybody can speak that takes a commercial flight out of Hartsfield. You've got to leave ample lead time because you've got a fairly long drive here from Gwinnett County, or for like me, from the north end of Gwinnett County where I live. You can be spending some time in a car, and the potential of getting into a traffic snarl or something like that, which could result in a delay and you missing a flight, is something you got to be aware of, and you got to give good lead time. Folks an option, it's just like how we've had things here in Gwinnett County where we have the Gwinnett Arena, things that are brought here that we can do in our own backyard, the Gwinnett Braves. This type of thing brings amenities that previously you'd have to go downtown to get out here to our county. And I think that's potentially got the ability to give us yet another perk, so to speak, of living in a county that's got a lot of vibrant things going on. If you look at it from an analytical perspective, I think there's a number of favorable points to be had. We have suffered, this area as well as the U.S. have suffered with a difficult economy over the last couple of years. This has the ability to potentially bring in a lot of new jobs to the area. The focus of businesses that might potentially relocate to Gwinnett County, because the idea that you're going to have a hub or ability to get in and out. But I think privatization is the key in a lot of things. Running my own business, you're always aware of the bottom line. I run a small operation compared to some of the individuals that are looking at what it would take to privatize the airport. But the focus and the perspective is the same. At the end of the day, you got to look at it, you got to make the numbers work. And I think it's got the potential of, by privatizing it, being run very efficiently, but yet also as a benefit to the county. The county can come in and structure a deal for themselves. It's going to be beneficial to them. They may not have to have the personnel or infrastructure to deal with the day-to-day operations. But yet they can get the benefit of having a private company run the operations, yet still maintain some control over the facility itself. And I just think it's got upside in that regard, as opposed to the county trying to run that. This makes sense.